Places we haven't been able to visit for months. But for those who use assistance dogs, that isn't always as straightforward as it should be.
Yeah, a survey by the charity Guide Dogs found 3/4 of respondents are still regularly being denied access to restaurants, shops and taxis, something that can leave them feeling rejected and also extremely anxious. As Nick Smith reports.
For George Hogman from Luton and his guide dog Yusuf, the further easing of COVID restrictions should mean more freedom to get out and about. But for many of those also requiring an assistance dog, when it comes to accessing some places, it still feels like there's another additional hurdle to overcome.
I went to a restaurant with my wife. I was taking her out for lunch. Before we'd even put a foot over the door, there came a voice, "No dogs." And then I spent 10 minutes trying to explain to him that it was illegal to turn away an assistance dog. But if it's normally a lot of hassle, I tend to turn around and walk out and say, I'll go somewhere else.
In fact, 3 out of 4 assistance dog owners surveyed in 2019 by the charity Guide Dogs claim they're still often refused access. Just a few weeks ago, Alison Heisman and her guide dog Ed were rejected from 3 different shops when trying to return an online delivery parcel, despite refusal being grounds for discrimination.
I stood my ground and I said, please, will you serve me? He still refused and said no dogs, and he stretched across me to serve the next customer, which was so humiliating, just made me feel insignificant, like I wasn't there. And the second shop that I tried, somewhere else, again, as soon as I walked in, no dogs allowed, please take your dog out. I went to a third shop afterwards and unfortunately was refused yet again, no dogs allowed. I had no self-worth left by the end of it.
Some premises tried to refuse assistance dogs due to cleanliness concerns, but new research from the Netherlands found that dogs' paws actually contained far less harmful bacteria than the soles of human shoes. Another common misconception is that right of entry laws only relate to guide dogs, but legislation applies to all registered and trained assistance dogs, like those that help with mobility, hearing and medical detection.
Assistance dog users should be given the same access as everybody else. So there's lots of things that service providers can do. They could put a sticker in the window that says all assistance dogs welcomed. So a lot of shops or services at the moment might have no dogs except guide dogs or just no dogs. And it's important to remember that assistance dogs shouldn't be treated as pet dogs. So they should be allowed to come in with the people that they're supporting.
So making assistance dog owners aware their companions are welcome can help ensure that everyone can enjoy our newly restored freedoms as more things begin to open up again. Nick Smith, ITV News.
You know, I've got to say how surprised I am at
Those
that.
figures really shocked me.
They are really shocking,
Yeah.
aren't
Do you think
they?
it's ignorance?
I don't know, maybe a little bit of that, but if it was my shop, big sign saying come in with dogs.
You can only come in if you have a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be